With that, Mr. Odom, you have 2 minutes. Please state your name, whom you represent.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Reverend Don Odom Jr. I am here representing myself. I'm the social justice ministry leader at Wheeler Avenue Baptist Church in Houston, Texas. Pastor William A. Lawson is our founding pastor emeritus, longtime civil rights leader. I am a sixth-generation Texan. My uncle was mayor of Arlington, Texas in the 90s. He's responsible for bringing the baseball team to Arlington. He developed that from a suburb into what it is. But surprisingly, he does not get the credit that he deserves because he does have a rec center in his name in Arlington. However, I speak to that point. Actually, I wanted to take 15 minutes of my precious time to bring God into this conversation, to invite the God that I serve, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the great I am, who gave our son Jesus, and I'll make a point with that in 1 second. I want to read out of another history book. This is the New King James Version of the Holy Bible. It says, "Put away lying. Let each one of you speak truth to his neighbor, for we are members of one another. Be angry and do not sin. Let him who stole steal no longer, but rather labor working with his hands what is good. Let no corrupt word proceed out of your mouth." Now, I honor all of you for being here. I believe that you were elected fair and square to be senators. It was painful as a Democrat to watch us lose this past election because we knew what was at stake. And that is decisions are being made that are not ethical in the framework of what God sees. What man does with politics is different from what God judges. Now, I know this will probably not be the last time, but I challenge one of you to ask a question. And the question, I don't have it with me. Who has read the book Critical Race Theory for Beginners, right? And I challenge the next time we do this for there to be a fair argument, because we cannot teach our children to tell the truth when they can see what games are being played. And the last point is that this is a Texas history book that I took at HCC when I got called to ministry in advance of going to seminary. And this is a fair and balanced Texas history textbook. We have a historical marker in Shankleville, Texas, where my 5 times great-grandfather got a parcel of land from a slave owner who was a Methodist minister and a first-generation slave owner. And he treated them different. He gave them land, he tilled it, and he bought 5,000 acres of land. We are the first black landowners in Newton County. Built the first schools. It was illegal to teach black slaves to read, and we got a different version of the Bible. We got a version in Ephesians that says, slaves, obey your masters, but it took out the next verse was about masters treating their slaves the way that they want their father to be treated. That's what happens when you take out history. And I'll echo this other sentiment and I'll close. If it walks like a duck, quacks, then it probably is. I just saw communist China shut down a newspaper. They don't allow things taught except the things that they want taught. That is communism. That's communism. That's what Russia does. That's what Belarus does. That's what Hungary does. I grew up in Quail Valley in Sugar Land, Texas. Okay? I played tennis. I played soccer. I've always seen the inequity amongst my peers. We got to high school. I know that there are people that don't realize they're being racist.
Pastor, I don't mean to be rude.
And I'll end with that. I'll end with that. It's about systems. The systems have to be uprooted or they continue to grow back. And I challenge, not with me necessarily, but I challenge you all to ask questions, but I honor for you for showing up today. God is watching.